geez, we decided to stay. Now we're out.
Now we're out.
Now we're out. Okay.
We're out.
But we're great anyway.
Vince is out. Okay, so here we go. We're pleased that you've managed to stay with us, if you still have. We have a follow-up question from Sam in Georgia. He wants to know if he can do maintenance himself and still have the warranty apply.
The simple things, yes. You can change the brushes, the switch, obviously lubricate that. We don't want you taking the tool apart to replace bearings. That should be done by a trained, authorized repair center.
Okay, so that's simple enough. So really, and replacing the bearings is maybe, what, a 5, 6 year, 7 year issue? Or
we say after 300 hours of use, the bearings should be looked at.
300 hours. Okay, so that could be within 6 months in an average shop.
It could be.
Okay.
I mean, bearings are bearings. They're going to wear out.
Okay. Okay.
I want to talk about this pad. I think that's really cool. I learned that yesterday, and I had no idea this was designed like this.
What Fine did when they conceived this is one of the best things you can do when you sand to maximize your finish is wet sand. That's messy. It creates a lot of mess. But what it does is it keeps your surface cool. It keeps your paper clean and always cutting with the same depth. And it also keeps the dust out of the air so you can see what you're doing. Okay? What Fine did with this system is we have 8 holes in the center of the pad. Each of these 8 holes ports directly out to the outside of the pad. That creates an airflow from the outside to that inside hole back up into the vacuum. And it creates a pretty hefty airflow, enough to minimize and really eliminate any heat that this pad is transferring to this surface due to the friction, trap any dust that escapes, and keep my paper absolutely clean during the finish process. So not only does this machine have a large stroke at a high RPMs, but it gives you tremendous finishing results because of the way the dust collection works. It is an excellent, excellent finish sander.
Okay.
With the sandpaper that you have on here with the 8 holes, that works fine. Now, we're selling an awful lot of this Univac paper.
And it's great paper.
We like it. Do you think that there's any downside to having this open? Will it affect any of the airports here at all?
No, it won't affect it at all. We sanded with that yesterday. I was extremely pleased with the results.
Great. Very good.
Extremely pleased.
All right, well, we only have 15 minutes of the show left, so...
Okay, well, we did want to show on the vacuum how
the dust collection works.
Can we get our close-up on this here?
So I need to put it on manual?
Okay, so it is actually sucking it in from the side.
Yep. I don't know if you can see that, but...
Well, the pile is obviously disappearing.
Yep.
Yeah, the draw is pretty incredible.
Cool. It would take quite a while to clean up a shop, but it does a nice job.
Just so we don't blow it around later.
Very good.
Can you shut me off?
Before we get started with that, let me just turn on the dust wall, and let's run this a little bit without the vac, just to show the difference.
Now, I do have 120 grit paper on here, so it will generate a fair amount of dust. I'm going to turn the tool on without the dust collection, and you'll see the dust generated. Thank you.
You want to turn this way.
Turn it so it's not blowing out.
Yeah, turn it so it's blowing out. There you go.
Enough of that?
Yep.
You can obviously see, and you can even look at the machine, and you can see the dust that was on it.
Of course, you can see that all the dust has been drawn into the Denray dust wall. Great machine here.
Or all over my pants. Now we've hooked the vacuum again up to the unit. Do we have it set on automatic?
It's all ready to go.
All right, when I turn the tool on, the vacuum will start. When I shut it off, you'll hear the 10 to 12 second delay while it extracts all the dust that's in the hose.
Are you applying any pressure then?
A minimal amount. I'm trying to let the tool do the work.
Okay. As you can virtually no dust because it's all being sucked in from the side and from the bottom. So it truly is a dustless sander.
There was no loading of the paper. There was virtually no dust left on the surface. How does that surface feel?
That feels great.
Yeah, very cool, right? No heat.
We have a dust away pad here.
Right in front of your
Right
hand.
here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And the purpose of that pad is?
To take off the little bit of dust that is here. This will clean it right off.
And any contaminant.
Any
left
contaminants,
behind.
and it will not scratch the surface because this is not a white Scotch-Brite pad. Don't mistake it for a white Scotch-Brite. It's a dust-away pad. It's the same as our Boss pad, and it will not scratch any
So we
surface.
could rub that right on your glass lenses and it wouldn't do anything.
That's right, but I'd try it on yours first.
Okay.
I'm just going to go over this
Okay.
to clean up this dust.
I'm going to go out on a limb there. Clean fingers. Still clean fingers.
Yeah.
So that's great. That certainly
Yep.
did the job. Of course, that's going to foul up your hook and loop, isn't it?
No,
Okay.
survived it pretty well.
Great.
So I started with the 120. I'd like to continue on with a 150 grit. You never want to jump more than 2 grits, and when you're talking about putting a great finish on something, I'd rather be careful. Do you want to sand a little bit with
Yeah,
this?
I would.
Can I go on the other side?
I wear
of the
goggles
studio?
when I sand, even though you don't. So
You're safe. You're
that's
smart.
right. Absolutely.
You can. Both sides.
You do that very well. Very smooth.
Well balanced. It doesn't look like it would be balanced at all.
But when you have it running, that suction actually helps to balance it out.
Very nice. And again, you feel that. Try that at home with your sander. Run it just for 5 minutes and feel what the temperature is like. There's absolutely no temperature above room temperature there.
This is the heat challenge.
And this isn't hot at all. Feel that. Seriously.
Seriously, it's cool.
It's cool. It's amazing.
It's fine.
It's fine. Absolutely.
Fine. There you go, Vince.
Okay.
We got to hurry along
you
here because
already
we want to
wishing
do
you
a
hadn't
seam
come,
too.
hadn't
Do you want to do the seam now?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
We've got about 10 minutes here, so
Okay, let me
but
knock
we just
this
need to keep moving along here. That's
down a
all.
little bit.
Now he's moving like he's not paid by the hour.
Yeah, he's also done this before.
I have. Now I'm going to jump up to 220.
It's really important to line your holes up, isn't it?
It is very important. You lose dust collection if you don't. Just hit it with 220 grit.
See, I didn't even touch that. Boy, our customer said I go fast.
It kind of reminds me of a hyper sander.
10 minutes. No loading of the paper. I would like to take 1 second to show the random orbit action on this machine. I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to buffer it so you can see the pad turning in both directions. I'm just going to give this a second.
It turns in both directions.
Both directions. It is a completely random orbit. It free spins to the right, and it free spins to the left.
Well, I thought that. I guess I was wrong. I thought that a random orbit spun around and then did circles while it was spinning around. I didn't realize it went back and forth.
It orbits. If I'm pressing to the right, it's going to free spin in the left-hand direction. If I'm taking it to the left, it's going to free spin
Do all
in the
random
left.
orbit sanders do that?
All true random orbit sanders do that.
Interesting. I never knew that. I want to make a comment, something else I learned yesterday. we had one of these sanders shipped to a show, and we took it out of the box, and we saw that it wasn't random orbit. And Ken said, piece of trash. He said, all good sanders are random orbit. Well, I learned yesterday that, variable speed.
Yeah.
You said this was, I remember your exact words, piece of trash, it doesn't even have variable speed. I learned yesterday from Vince, and you weren't there, why you don't need variable speed on a good random orbit sander.
Yeah, variable speed
because
is
of the design.
Exactly. Variable speed is going to slow down your sanding process. It's going to minimize your heat. That's the really true benefit of it. Because our dust collection is so great and so good, we don't need it. What I would suggest you do with the fine sander is use finer grains or grits of sandpaper to achieve the same results. So we try to maximize all the performance we can in the machine. Simple, form,
we only have 5 minutes left.
Okay,
I
great.
know.
We
So
got to cut down the
let's-
machine. Checking that. It's a nice finish.
No, that's a fine finish.
Fine finish. Very good.
And I would say that's a good matte finish.
Now, let's pop this off real quick, and we've got a piece of black here that we want to just catch a seam with. And we'd like to show you how quickly you can knock a seam down with a pure random orbit sander
With a massive stroke.
with a massive stroke. Absolutely.
I thought
That's
we
the
were
big
hiring
difference.
a girl for this part.
Oh, I don't know.
And look, it's Steve.
Thank you, Steve. I
Oh,
appreciate
they let
it.
you out, huh?
I'll get it.
Thank you.
And we start out with like what, 60 grit?
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm not going to get carried away because it'll take forever, but I'm going to use a 120 grit to knock this down. You know, you could go a little heavier with the
I was gonna
sandpaper.
say, that's pretty light for.
My
for the seam
concern is you're going to put a lot of scratches
Well, yeah,
back
but we're
into
not gonna.
that.
Yeah, but we're not gonna finish that out. We're
Yeah.
really just gonna show how the seam gets cut.
No, this is
So don't worry
100
about
grit.
that.
Yeah, just 100 grit aluminum oxide. It's a nice seam, but
Okay.
see what we get.
Now the pad on here right now is a medium pad, right?
It is, yeah.
Would it be better to do this with a hard pad?
It would be.
It would also be better to use a surface leveler to knock the excess material off. But I guess we're just showing them that it can be done without it.
Can be done.
Of course, right now we're doing a segment of the world's dirtiest job. I think if you also had leveled the two sheets, it would probably be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty unfortunate that we didn't pay attention to that.
That takes it down though. It's not a big deal.
Why fabricators hate it so much when they're out of.
I don't think Steve used a easy seam when he put this seam
No,
together.
I don't
think
think
so.
Steve
'Cause
cared.
these are
I owe you one, Steve.
no, but actually took it down without a
Take
problem.
it down. I
so-
mean, you're
Yeah.
not far away.
Nah.
Another minute or two. But I guess the big thing is what you've seen tonight is really fine offers a lot of variety of tooling, and certainly they offer tooling that will give you an extraordinary performance.
For many years.
You know, not just an area of dust collection or sanding, but also the routers, the multi-masters, the metal tooling that you have. It just, I mean, some really great equipment.
Is this a new pad?
It is a new pad.
Okay. Is this as expensive as the old pads were?
Nowhere near as expensive.
Okay, because I know that, that was always a big gripe with the guys is that they buy the sander and the pads were very expensive. So these are more reasonably priced, like
They are very
the others on the
reasonably
market.
priced. That's correct. And we do want to caution you. You know, there are a number of pads you can put on this machine, but there are some weight parameters that you have to be careful of. If you get too far out of those weight parameters, you're going to get a lot of vibration that's not good for the finish.
Okay, very good.
So really the long and short of it, even though we saw it's a 5/16 24 thread stud, you really want to stay with the original manufacturer's equipment in this case, only because the tool is really designed around that pad, working with that specific weight pad,
Correct.
working with a very specific counterbalance.
Stroke.
What
and
about a
RPM.
Danny radius pad? Would it fit on this machine? Just out of
Oh,
curiosity.
it would certainly finish, but once again, the problem you're going to get into is a weight balancing.
Well,
issue.
but you're only going to use it for, I mean, you wouldn't put it on and leave it on. I'm just talking about the radius pad for doing the coves and what have you. Do you think it would be a problem using it on this
Well,
machine?
it obviously would fit. I mean, you certainly could use it. And I guess
Okay.
if it's not
Yeah,
long term.
if it's not long term, it's good. I'm just saying if you had a
Okay.
large surface,
No,
I
it's
think it would be a
typically
problem.
just
the
this
radius
one,
is yeah,
one specific thing.
not a problem.
But anyway, we're just about out of time for tonight. I want to thank Vince for joining us on the show tonight. And for having Fine come down. And also Art came. And Art doesn't have a last name.
That's right.
But I'm pleased that Art came down. And I guess we'll be back in a couple of weeks. We've got a gentleman coming down from Massachusetts for that show.
So we do. They're coming from further and further away.
I know. And he's going to be very excited because the Red Sox just won the World Series. Go Sox. And the Patriots are blowing a hole in the league. So we're excited about that.
The show is blacked out in Indianapolis this week.
Oh, I bet you it was sold out a long time ago. But at any rate, so we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. If you're going to be in Grand Rapids this coming week, make sure you stop by the show. Again, Vince,
Thank
really
you very
appreciate
much.
you coming
My
by.
pleasure.
Thanks,
Got some
Vince.
great
Great time.
products.
I
Great.
enjoyed myself.
And
Thank you.
you don't have to go anywhere.
Yep,
I mean, you don't like
we're
it,
just going to
but-
close out. No, we're just going to say
But anyway,
Goodbye.
thanks for joining
Thank you.
us, and we'll see you
that's
before
it.
you know it.
See you.